Hey, Pundits Pundit, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, what is going on tonight?
Just a lot. I know, it's getting real heavy.
It's been this whole week.
I know. Last week and a half. And did you want to announce our guest this evening, young man?
Oh, young man, I haven't heard that in a while. Well, we have tonight from Basket Bros, the Dirty Dom and Will Vogel. We have them tonight.
Dirty Dom, gentlemen.
What's up? Yo.
And Jacob, I don't know if you know this, but Will Vogel has a nickname now that Detroit
Willie
Dom
Vo?
created.
Was it Willie Vo?
Dom, would you like to introduce Will?
That is Will Vogel, better known as Willer Light.
Willer Light. I don't know if you want to be called Light, Will, but I mean, it's up to you.
It's just based on beer.
Oh, of course. Everything's based on beer with you, brother.
Hey, that's him that drinks it. I was just quick on the draw.
Okay.
What was that?
Did
you guys experience the circle thing?
No, that was you.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be a jam-packed show. We may have some other people come on in the last half hour. I'm not sure. But I want to go ahead and let Jacob do the intro and kind of go over everything we're going to discuss tonight because we've got some pretty heavy topics. So it's not going to be roses and sunshine tonight. So I apologize for that. But it's
last
needed.
Couple of weeks haven't been.
No, it's getting hot outside. Crime rates go up when it's getting hot.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to bring this part up here a little bit. First off, I want to announce the rest in peace Ray Liotta. And everybody, there's people that remember him from Goodfellas. I remember him from Goodfellas, but also Field of Dreams. Mm-hmm. I put this on Facebook today.
Unlawful entry.
Yep. I remember this. I can say this. I said this on Facebook today that we right now deal in a world, and everybody can agree or disagree or whatever. We deal in a world where it's very in and very trendy to feminize men. So because of this, we don't have, I mean, there are very few men's men left that you can cast truly right now. There really are. You got Ed O'Neill, but he's 76 years old. You've got, I mean, Clint Eastwood makes his own movies. He's 91 years old. This guy was 67. He died in his sleep. You really can't do that. But take a look at Ray Liotta for a second. The reason I say that, take one look at in his last few years, how rough his face looked. You could do a couple of different roles. You could do the mob boss, and you could do Mike Hammer, from the day. You could do a film noir Mike Hammer look, like a badass anti-hero. You could do that with him. That's a man's man look. I mean, the guy that gets beat up 4-on-1 but comes back and gets him. You can do that. And now that him dying is a shock, but it also reminded me how few we have left. Tom Cruise is a man's man, but he doesn't have that look. No. Let me finish. I understand what you mean, Jen.
No, he's misogynistic. That doesn't make you a man's man.
But what I'm talking about is he does his own stunts. By the stuff that he does his own stunts. He does all that thing, but he doesn't have the look. What I'm talking about. Now, we can't
Tom
count
Cruise?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the look.
Also because he's 5'7".
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, they try to make him Jack Reacher, and it doesn't work. And I'm like, this Jack Reacher fits, even if I don't like the show. But there isn't that many left, is my point. And that's the sad part today. And it's like all of our heroes and everybody we remember is going away. Yes. And that's the sad part. So rest in peace to Ray Liotta.
100%.
Yeah, it's funny. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Right.
Tell me that didn't just go over your head.
You want to be a gangsta.
That's a direct quote from Goodfellas.
I watched the movie.
Speaking of Ray Liotta, if you haven't seen it, it's not as new as I thought, but he is in a very good film from 2004 called Control with Willem Dafoe.
Right. Oh, that'd be a great. Those two would have great scenes. Yeah. See, the thing was, I was an actor 12 years. I might still try it again. Those are the type of people you would have wanted to be in a movie with. You know what I mean? Those are the type of people you'd want to be in a movie with. I'd love to be able to work with Alan Alda before he passed away, but I mean, he's got Parkinson's. I don't know how long. It's like you don't know how long you've got with some of the heroes you get left. You know what I mean?
Well, we're old, and they're all older than us, so they're really old.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I hear what you're saying, and I know what you're referring to, like the fashion shows and the models. There's still a lot of manly men left. And just because you show empathy and you think before you speak doesn't mean you can't still be a manly man and do things. Like, my dad is my Superman. And that's because, and like, honestly, sometimes, my husband's will get a little like, you like him more than me. And I'm like, no, it's not that.
Yeah, I do. He's my dad.
Well, I mean, there's that.
He's my dad.
Well, Jen, it isn't the empathy thing. No, go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it's like, just because we have to think that not everybody who's going to do this, like, I don't know. I think there's still a lot of masculinity out there in the world. I think with the cancel culture, men have to be a little more careful. But I do think, I feel you. I hate cancel culture. Somebody made me say...
This is where I go with the cancel culture.
Somebody made me say mansplain, and I hate that term.
Oh, I hate that word.
No.
I hate that term.
Mansplain more.
And they, I did. Don't you worry, I did. I woman-splained his ass. And...
Ray Liotta's just from a better, like, his era of actors are better than this era.
Hey, Jen, I want you to understand where I'm going.
That is a very valid point, Dom, because acting, like, there's not a lot of movies I'm dying to see.
Yeah, because they're all comic book movies.
Yeah, it's like I get excited when there's a good movie. Like, I'm kind of scared to go see Top Gun 2 because Top Gun.
I wouldn't do it.
Well, the thing is, they're saying it's good. They're saying it's good. They're saying it's real good, but no. I
have a friend going tomorrow night. I'll let her tell me if I should see it or not.
I wasn't saying anything about the empathy thing or whatever, and screw cancel culture, screw it completely. I wasn't saying it that way. I'm talking about what you have is the fact, and guess what? There are many manly men out there, tons. Guess what? Midwest farmers. All
Thanks,
those,
Matt.
I mean?
We love you too.
We love you, Matt. It's like the farmers and construction people. I come from the construction family, military people. Tons. Don't get me wrong. What I'm talking about is the media that absolutely promotes victimhood as currency. That they promote making men feminine. And they do that. And it's like, guess what? Many masculine men out there, just not promoted anymore. The idea isn't promoted.
Well, and yes, I've heard it's really good. I'm just nervous about it. But I forgot. Is Val Kilmer in this?
One scene.
He is? Okay. One scene.
He can't talk anymore.
I know. I would see him sometimes around Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's sad. Like, truly. Well, and that's the thing. I think it's like there's nothing new on TV. Everything's a reboot. Now, some things do need to change. Like Fred Savage just got booted off the remake of The Wonder Years, right?
Yeah.
Well, Fred Savage made The Wonder Years, but I don't know if you guys ever watched.
They remade it. It's a different one, but yes.
Yeah.
But no, if Fred Savage did that stuff, he'd got to be gone. And here's the thing. Can we grow up ever? I'm talking about the people that keep getting this. Can we grow up? It's like, for one thing, it's one thing if Fred Savage did this kind of stuff or whatever he was able to do at like 22, 23, whether it was right or wrong, and it's wrong. Guess what? You're 50 years old.
Yeah.
Grow up.
When I saw that,
they're women.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you guys ever watch Boy Meets World?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a Feeny guy. I'm a Feeny guy.
Oh my gosh. No, you're not. Hush
Ja-
your face.
Jacob probably knows. I bet none of you do. And it's to the point where he demanded to be uncredited in the role. Mr. Feeney, Mr. Feeney, Kit from Knight Rider.
Oh yeah,
same dude.
I know.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I always wondered who that was, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Okay,
he refused to be credited.
Yeah.
Well, in the later years when they were in college, Fred Savage came on because obviously he's Ben Savage's brother, right? And this is when they were in college and right before Corey and Topanga got married. And his character was that of a really cool prof. And
I remember that episode.
Yeah. And I just thought, when I saw that come out about him, I thought, man, because he played that role way too well. So.
Well,
I mean, he's not that good of an actor.
No, he's really not. That's why he's been sidelined for 30 years?
Well, but the thing is, the reason he also didn't want to get credited at all was because he was on St. Elsewhere. And he was on St. Elsewhere, and it was like, you got to realize, Knight Rider was cheesecake TV. It just was. It was boring, everything like that. St. Elsewhere made you think. And by the way, Saved by the Bell, thank God, is gone.
You know what? It was what it was. I laughed at the idiocracy. But I'm not going to lie, Matt. I disagree. I loved Girl Meets World. I loved it. However,
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, it was good.
It was all right. I liked all the returns.
So,
the Full House reboot
I
wasn't
love
bad.
watching a lot of the I guess teeny bopper type shows just because the acting isn't always the greatest, but the storylines are usually best. Fuller House, yes, but it went on too long.
I couldn't watch Saved by the Bell for a minute. Could not watch it. Not the new one. Could not, because I already can't watch a minute of the old stuff. So I can't watch. So I'm not going to watch the new stuff.
Okay. Well, let's go into some of the other topics too.
No, it's not. It's so bad.
I agree. Like the Vegas wedding, that was awful. That was horrible.
I just watched a month ago. I just watched all those made-for-TV movies and the one season of the college years. So that's when Kelly grew up and out.
Yeah, right. No.
Then she came on 90210 and.
Oh. By the way, folks, did you guys?
I can't watch the Fresh Prince reboot.
No,
Will Smith refuses to even acknowledge it.
He's an EP on it.
He's the
producer. Really? That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like the original one. Like it's
I love the original Fresh Prince. I love.
Well, you want to know what worries me with it? I'm an Uncle Phil guy, and it's like I'm an Uncle Phil guy, and it makes it really hard because James Avery's Uncle Phil is a combination of absolute badass and Orson Welles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm talking about incredibly intelligent man, well spoken, and no fucking with him.
Right.
It's
like the pool hall episode.
Yeah. And it's like he had a level of street with him, and you could tell he did. And by the way, my apologies to Sideline Sports for my language. I didn't mean for that.
So I know we want to hit some other topics tonight. And we should really do a podcast based on old school TV, by the way, because that would be awesome. I know you go first, Jacob. Then I know I really want to hit Dan Snyder.
Heard from you on this one. Dan Snyder, they're counting the votes. You said 24.
Wait, it's not official though.
No,
that's the thing.
But allegedly, they're being counted backstage. 24 is the number that they would need to force him out. What I didn't quite have time. I was trying to look into it further. I don't know what the next step would be. Like, okay, he gets forced out. Do they get absorbed by the other owners, like the Expos did, or does it just kind of sit in whatever until they find a new owner?
Goodell had to come out earlier this week. So it was announced that there was unofficial voting going on. just getting a room temperature, because now he's up on 2 sets of books, plus all of the sexual misconduct, sexual assaults. However, they want I don't think Goodell wanted it out. I don't think Jerry Jones wanted it out, because, as Eric Wilson pointed out the other night, Goodell answers to the owners, but Goodell wasn't in the loop on the 2 sets of books. He was in the loop on the Gruden stuff. He was in the loop on like sexually abusing women, however you want to say it, by videotaping them, by making them do things, by making them perform
Escorts.
favors. Yes. But he
Again,
backed it
grow
up.
up.
However, Dan Snyder did not tell Roger Goodell or Jerry Jones about the 2 sets of books.
You know,
So now you have the Maryland Treasury Department most likely looking into them. You've got the U.S. Treasury, FTC. Then you've got House and Senate looking into them again. What's it going to take? And why the hell is this man so protected? I have my own theories, but I want your opinions.
Well, the thing is, the biggest issue with it is the fact that you got to remember everything that went on. He wouldn't. Let's see. He would not, and you're right, Matt. It's like they do. Media does that. It's me. They would not. He would not get rid of the Redskins, which, you know, something fine. It's been their name for 50, 60 years.
Well, do you know why? Like, the only reason why he ended up, the main reason, he was supposed to pay the one of the tribes nearby like $10-15 million, and he never did.
Well, and I'm just saying that you're right. Okay, you can say, I mean, I did not know, but it's like there's that. But I'm saying he didn't want to get rid of the Redskins, and you brought up the reason they did. But remember, all of the time, he also wanted to hire who he wanted to. Just around the time that Gruden is gone or Gruden is exposed, he all of a sudden hires the women and a couple of minorities in a front office. All of a sudden, when he wasn't doing that. Completely.
I actually think that
Ron Rivera most recently as their coach.
Yeah, and it's like
I was going to say, I think most of the changes, any cultural changes that are happening on the front office, Will can attest to this, came from Ron Rivera.
Yep.
Ron Rivera has the most integrity out of any freaking head coach in the NFL. And I will die on that cross.
Well, and he does. But what I'm saying,
no, he does. He really does. Like, you're not going to find anything dirty on him, Tom.
And the thing is, and in the end, though, it's got to be up to an owner, and an owner finally says yes. After all that, he's been he's been covering himself.
He's been covering himself.
He's been covering himself, and now
hear this crap.
Oh, that's interesting. Sorry. So Matt just told us that VA Senator Chap Patterson's pulling his vote for the new stadium for the Commanders. He doesn't trust that fans will even watch the team, and doesn't trust that the team will stay in the new stadium to even see it pay itself off.
That's true.
Thank you, Matt. I did not know that.
And the idea that, what the idea that stadium was? The idea that stadium is going to be a changing color stadium.
Hey, Matt, do you want to come on?
Yeah, I can bring on.
Go ahead, Will.
So I read this and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is BS. This is stupid. How could you get away with this? Supposedly the team sold bags of peanuts last year at the stadium, or a few years ago, intended for distribution on Independence Air, which is an airline, but the airline went defunct the year before.
Oh, so you know what that could be? That could be a fraud deal. I mean, remember, it's still an item they try to sell. That could be fraud.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
I don't
they
know.
just said so many things. And that's funny because he just they just paid $200 million $2 million for 200 acres of land.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, and I didn't know this till recently, their current stadium is not that old. It's widely regarded as a dump. It is, but it's not that old.
Look at the field. Oh, that field is horrific.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's what literally caused RG3 to end his career.
Couple things about Dan Snyder.
Why don't they just change that? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Don.
I mean, he's widely regarded as, if not one of the worst owners in all of professional sports. Obviously the stuff with the cheerleaders, the emails, it's how ironic that the NFL was looking to investigate 20,000 some emails. Then he sends them the 5 that involved John Gruden and just threw him under the bus. But in regards to trying to vote him out, I could see it going either way, because I mean, first of all, the owners box, that's the Billionaire Boys Club. You're talking about the owners of 32 of probably, I would say, at least top 100, like as far as businesses or franchises. The money that NFL franchises pull in it's ridiculous. But what I wonder is, if he's got 5 emails about John Gruden, what other emails does he have between him and other owners? And if they try to put the heat on him, he just drops all of it, and then everyone's in trouble.
Well, and that's my theory. I think that's why he's so protected. I think he is protecting a lot of dirty owners. Yeah,
they all watch each other's backs.
And no, and that's
no,
they do.
Not today, but no, you're kissing the ring of Jerry Jones. This is the thing. This was the thing. It's like it's kissing the ring of Jerry Jones. Hello, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
And it's like this is the absolute 1,000% thing he's going to have to do. And there has to be a flight to Dallas, and he's kissing the ring. And he's trying as hard as we don't know if it works or not, because he will. It is literally. We talk about Dallas. Jerry Jones is the leader of the Billionaire Boys Club.
Well, sure. He's got the most valuable franchise.
He does, by miles, of all sports.
How are they worth so much money and they're so irrelevant?
Because they make multi millions of dollars in each of their sponsorships. Multi-millions. It's like, this isn't a winning thing. They don't win. They've won 4 playoff games since 1996. This isn't a winning thing. They get celebrities like crazy. They get sponsorship like crazy. They just spend $200 million on Coors, like on a Coors room, at the stadium.
Well,
they just got sorry, I'll finish this up here.
Sorry.
They just got the AT&T Stadium, which they get Uber money on it.
Go ahead,
and
Jen.
He's been told that he was sorry, I was trying to show Jordan's, but whatever. Sorry, Jordan. It's been a crazy thing. No, Carrie. Actually, America's team is the Queen
Detroit
of Hoops,
Lions.
Miss Megan Price. Her team, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry. But
not my America.
No, not my America either.
That's your Iraq.
But here's the thing,
that's your Iraq, man.
We okay, Dan Snyder, I do believe, is covering for a lot of other people. I disagree that they all have each other's backs, because think back, Jerry Richardson chose to sell the team, right?
Yeah.
But before that, and this will segue me into something else, Jerry Richardson had actually convinced the rest of the league owners, with the exception of Jerry Jones, not to allow the Rams to move to LA, because St. Louis had done everything. When they went to vote on it, Jones had gone behind Jerry Richardson's back, like did some kind of backdoor deal and whatever, and he got enough votes to allow whatever his name is, the owner of the Rams, to move.
Kroenke.
They should have just stayed, but I mean, will people realize this time around that LA's not a football town?
No, because they just won a Super Bowl. So that will be for 2 seasons.
And
I was going to say, with their 800 people at the parade.
With the 800 people in the audience, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break.
But that's so why my question, and this is part, like, I've always kind of followed Dan Snyder for some reason, like something never felt quite right inside. So when this all happened with Jerry Richardson, and now Dan Snyder, Jerry Jones also had a sex scandal with the Cowboys. They, most of them protect each other, yeah, but they'll hang other ones out to dry. And it pisses me off, and it pisses me off for women because our rights are being taken away from us every freaking day. And I see this shit about guns, taking away our guns. First of all, I'm all for the Second Amendment. You know what, bitch? Your mass shootings are killing more people than one abortion. Just saying. Go get a fucking vasectomy. Go get a vasectomy. That can be reversed.
Our owner's a woman.
Yay, I like her.
And she has dropped the name Ford from her last name.
Has she really? I didn't know that.
I don't
That's
blame
cool.
her.
Trying to distance herself from that.
No, I don't blame her because they have had losses. What was it, 57 when they last won a title?
Correct.
1957. It's like you got, if you're trying, I like what she did on that to get rid of Ford. It's because it's a rotten name for football.
Mm-hmm.
It's been rotten, and it's like it's like you need to get rid of McCaskies. I call them
McCaskey.
They're
McCaskey.
old and they're dead.
Isn't it McCaskey Hallis? It's his daughter.
Yeah,
it's his daughter.
long story on that. I call them McCaskets because
That was actually how I first found out about the whole you can vote an owner out, because I was asking for that since I was about 12 years old. I've known about this rule for a long time.
Yeah. And it's never really, I mean, has it really happened before the last 5 years
What?
that an owner was voted out?
Well, it's sports. You got Sterling.
Yeah.
Right.
Sterling was
But
voted
wasn't
out.
that like the last 5-10 years?
It was.
That was 6 or 7 years ago.
By the way,
Okay.
Dan Snyder has now become a Donald Sterling
Mm-hmm.
in a different light. We might see racism come up on that thing, and we might see
I
that
wouldn't
later.
be
It's the only thing we haven't
surprised.
seen yet, but we
Not
might
trying
see
to
that.
sound offensive, but
It's going to get really bad.
Yeah.
I'll put
I
it to
know.
you this way, Jen. This is how powerful the NFL owners are. They were able to keep Donald Trump out of the owner's box. We, as the voting public, couldn't keep him out of the White House.
Yeah.
The owners kept him out of. They were like, no.
Right.
No, sir, we don't want you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Right.
that's the real reason that I hate Donald Trump, because he ruined the USFL.
I'm waiting for him to own the New Jersey Generals again. Hey, this USFL is going to ruin itself anyway. So
They rushed it.
yeah.
When I heard about the league coming about, this year, right now on Saturday or Sunday, I was expecting to be at games at post-game pressers.
Yeah.
Right.
Threatening to fist fight Jeff Fisher.
Well,
Can you threaten to fish fight Matt Rule for me? It's for the sanctity of the NFL.
If he's still the coach come Christmas Eve and I'm down there with you at the game, I'll throw something at him.
Okay, cool.
Jen, I'll be there too.
No. Just make sure, Jeff. Just make sure.
Thank you, Jordan.
Just make sure Jeff Fisher's mustache doesn't know kung fu.
No question. But in the NFL, before this has happened, was there ever an owner that was forced out? Come on, Jordan. Find this answer out for me, buddy.
Boy,
I see Matt in. What up, Matt?
Hey.
What's up,
How
Matt?
are you?
Good. How are you going?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Come on in.
Your beard's all trimmed tonight.
Well, I got to try to keep it, somewhat light. But
Yeah.
obviously, I don't have a NHL team right now going, so I don't have a reason to grow out the beard. So.
Well, you can go for the Canes. Will and I'll let you.
No. I've been in that building for the away teams, and that place is already loud enough.
You can go
So.
for Pittsburgh. No,
What? Yeah. Well.
Kerry Johnson will let you go vote for the Blues too.
You know what?
Boy,
That
the
was a
Blues made
fantastic.
gutsy game last night.
That was a fantastic
Ooh.
game last
Awesome
night.
game last night for
What's
sure.
up, bud?
What up?
Oh, yay. We got my girl Kerry Johnson on.
Kerry.
What up? More
supposedly-
estrogen in the house.
Dom.
Supposedly, Daniel Snyder might not be alone on that list. There's talks of Stephen Ross as well.
Really?
Of course.
Why?
I think we're going to find out that there's more and more involved.
Because
for
he's
sure.
a terrible owner as
I
well.
agree, Matt.
So why won't, and I won't say her name, but the owner of the Saints be brought up? Because I know we've
what's her
had some
name?
friends
Oh, Benson.
who were
Is it the
investigating.
Benson thing?
No.
Benson, Gail Benson.
Yeah.
I said I wasn't going to say her name. Y'all can.
No, here's the story. Of a
She's
man named
do not.
Benji.
No, sir. Do not. I'll sit carry on you.
Actually, listen to this, and it's funny. And this is
Who's
from
got
Sports
6
Illustrated.
baby beautiful
Here's an
girls.
even better way to describe the NFL owners as a group. And this is from Sports Illustrated. No matter
Okay.
what NFL discovers, Daniel Snyder won't be asked to leave ownership fraternity. And that's exactly what it is. They are a bunch of rich frat boys.
From
Yeah.
Vatek.
Old, rich frat boys. Make sure that we put in that very distinct phrase
Caveat.
that
Frat boys.
they are older, well-established men,
Frat
older
boys.
men,
Yeah,
white frat boys. Yep.
And
it's
just so
definitely
you
what they
guys know,
said.
we may go over a little bit tonight because we still have some other topics we want to go on.
Let's
So
bring-
Matt and Carrie, y'all will
I was
be.
gonna say we've got a big thing here. Let's go bring up right now.
Okay. Let's bring up my
Tim
mild
Anderson.
irritant. Okay.
Let's do Tim Anderson, Josh Donaldson.
Okay, go for it.
I'm ready.
I'm ready for it too because I'm a
You
Yankee
know,
fan and I am disgusted by Donaldson.
The thing is, the biggest thing about it is you have got a enormous, arrogant jerk in Josh Donaldson, and an egotistical prick in and I'd say I'm not going to apologize for that one in Tim Anderson, who brought up that who compared himself, no matter if it's light or not, to Jackie Robinson. He opened it up. He opened this, and I can't stand it. Now, Josh Donaldson deserves to be a martyr? No. Horrible dude. He's a horrible individual. But these two are trying to trade being a martyr. They're both arrogant. They're both arrogant. I don't want to hear apologies. See, for one thing, I said it today on Facebook. People seen it. Quit apologizing. Quit apologizing. I don't care if it's a joke apology to the Robinson family or whatever. Quit apologizing, especially when you're about to lose your job anyway or get suspended. It's fake. It's a PR stunt. Quit it. You know he's not sorry.
Yeah.
It is to be everything like that. We got to quit apologizing for everything. But we also got to quit sticking up for Tim Anderson just because he was just at his own fault. And it's like, and this is where I'm at a problem right now with this.
Yeah.
Did you happen to hear Stephen A's take on that?
I didn't.
Okay, so Stephen A said that when you throw out the race card, it needs to be something of value. Otherwise, it gets to the point where it is the boy who cried wolf syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to mean something. This man had already compared himself to Jackie Robinson. So part of the trash talk that happens is someone can say, you are not Jackie Robinson. But then to further, when Donaldson said, hey, listen, this is why I said this, because I had previously had this, Stephen A's like, I want to know why all of a sudden it doesn't. And somebody else kept saying, well, it's this reason, it's this reason. He goes, no, that's you putting your feelings on the situation. I want to know why this dude feels like it is no longer something that can be used as a joke or as a dig at him, because he's the one that chose to start the conversation by comparing himself to him.
What's up? What's up, Jay?
And I'll say something. I'm a Yankee fan, and I am absolutely disgusted by Donaldson.
I'm glad I booed him last Friday. No offense, Will.
No worries. I would have booed him.
Deserved.
Trust me.
Boo him because he's old and overpaid and he sucks.
Also, Aaron Judge put out a quote, and I full on agree with Aaron Judge, and he said, "Joke or not, it's not the right thing to do."
Correct.
Immature. Okay, all I have to say is 5 points. Immature, not at the right time, distasteful, disgusting, and just
when is ever considered
terrible.
the right when would ever consider be the quote unquote right time?
There is
Never.
no right time.
Never.
There isn't one anymore.
There is
no.
no right time.
Everybody's offended
There
by
is no right time.
everything.
There's never.
Well, here's the thing. There's certain people, there's certain sports icons you don't mess with. You don't make the butt of a joke. You just don't.
You don't compare yourself to him.
No. You say he's my idol. I want to be like him.
Yeah.
But
You
you
let others say, hey, you are like, you resemble, you have talent similar. You don't say, I am.
Can I say something real quick? Sorry to interrupt, Carrie.
No, you're fine.
Saying you're like Jackie, you're kidding, right? Dude, Jackie Robinson went through so much racism, so much hatred, so much crap through his life.
On top of
went
all
through
that
a
crap,
lot of hell.
He's not even
to
statistical.
get to where he was.
Yeah.
And guess what? I forgot who the owner was. Whoever took a chance on him. Have you guys seen the movie 42 about Jackie Robinson?
Sure.
Where the guy, one of the opposing managers yells, "Hey, you should not be on the field. Your kind's not allowed. Nobody likes you." And they tried to throw baseballs at him, the pitchers. And then Pee Wee said this quote in the movie and said, "One day, Jackie, we're all going to wear 42 in honor of you." That's why Pee Wee
that's the right thing to say.
a great teammate.
Statistically, he doesn't even hold a candle to him. So
that's not what he was trying to say.
No, but it's the point of it. Like
you're correct, Dom. But here's the problem with it is the fact that even any kind of comparison whatsoever, Jackie Robinson, as they say, threw baseballs at him. They spiked him. They threw garbage on him. The fans did.
Didn't they steal his shoes?
I mean, spiked him with the cleats. They did all that. Tim Anderson is so covered right now that you call him Jackie and they get the guy suspended. I mean, this is not Jackie Robinson.
Right. The whole thing is just a mess. It's funny because I didn't know much about this story, but I dug into it today and I started with Josh Donaldson. And literally the first thing I read, and not to excuse it, but it all kind of clicked in and made a little bit more sense. Josh Donaldson is from Pensacola, Florida, which is in the Panhandle, and it's basically Alabama South. So for him to say something that's racially insensitive, not a surprise. The other thing that I saw when I started reading his bio, his father has been in prison most of his life. So apparently he didn't have a male figure in his life to teach him any better. But this is not this isn't an isolated incident with him. This started in 2019. And he tried to say he said it as a joke, and now he's saying it's an inside joke. You don't have inside jokes with people that aren't your friends. And when it happened the first time, Tim Anderson was like, "Don't ever talk to me again."
Pensacola. Here's the thing, Pensacola. I don't know if you want that man fatherly figure in Pensacola to begin with, whether the guy's in prison or not. So it's like,
wasn't there like a little girl that went missing there, and was she ever found? And no, I'm not talking Casey Anthony.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. I think you just go ahead and throw Anderson and Donaldson into the Hell in the Cell matches coming up in WWE in a couple of weeks.
I wouldn't be. I'm
go for
it.
WWE needs some new wrestlers.
Throw them both in, man.
Yes, they do.
No, throw them in AEW. Will be forgotten a week later.
It's true. They're
that's for WWE, baby.
So I was talking to Dom 20 minutes before the show, and Donaldson has had notorious history besides with Tim Anderson. In 2019, he had an instance with Lucas Giolito, who so happened plays for the same team as Anderson. He hits a home run, and he taunts him saying, and it looks like he was saying, "My hands are clean. My hands are clean," saying he didn't use tar. And after the game, pine tar. And after the game, Giolito said he's like an effing the P word. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get in trouble with them.
By the way, we lost.
Yeah, don't ever say that word because I will find you, and I know where to find you during the NBA season.
No, you don't.
during the NBA season, I don't know
No,
where to
you
find
don't.
you.
I just
Yes,
moved.
I do.
Hey, no, she knows where to find you now. Look where you're at.
I'm in Uganda.
Where did Matt go? Where'd Matt go?
He went off for a second.
But yeah, it's.
But anyway, let's finish the rest of the night. Let's finish the rest of the night.
Yeah, because we do have some other heavy topics we want to go into.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start this here. I'm going to bring this up.
Oh.
We already know where we're at. Buffalo and Uvalde.
Buffalo, Uvalde, and California.
Yeah.
And there was another shooting that was thwarted in Texas today. I only saw a brief snippet, nothing more.
I want to bring something up real quick on this.
Uh-huh.
Big time. Today, I found this out on video. There were from yesterday. There were parents that were trying to. There were parents that were trying to get in to go save their kids, and the cops were pinning them to the ground, putting them to keep them quote unquote safe, and everything. One mom said, "Would you please let me go? I will promise I won't do anything." They let her go. She sprinted away from them, climbed the fence, and got her kids. She got them out of there.
Good.
And
I mean, what was this during the time that the shooter was still active?
Yep. She went in to go get him, and it's like, but see, you know something? We are in such a disaster right now as far as a people, as far as every little why were police staying outside? It's like, oh my God, aren't they? Isn't their thing to serve and protect? Isn't that on their cars?
Yes.
Why were they outside? Why are they outside? It's because they get mobs. They get mobs whether they deserve it or not. There's ones that they deserve, but then they get them if they're not. They're so afraid to try to be a hero. Somebody said, I mean, Jason Whitlock said today they don't think that they'd even go in to be first responders on 9/11 anymore because they're too afraid to get mobs. They're too afraid of all this. Social media needs to melt. I'm just saying this. I'm doing blocks. Maybe I'm the only one doing this. I'm doing blocks, hoping to get 1 million blocks on social media, Twitter especially. I'm hoping to one day. So I can, number one, it makes my timeline a lot more intelligent. But number two by itself, we got to stop fighting on there all day long. I hope people that don't agree with me erase me or block me. I hope they do, because you don't agree with me, that's fine. We don't have to fight. If there's not fighting, social media as we know it dies, and maybe it needs to die to start over, because all of this is going on is why we keep getting this.
I'll make a point real quick, and two people said it yesterday on the Sports Arena. One is Dom, and one is John Shear, and they said it great. Dom said, and I agree 100 million %, even more than infinity. Why are you allowed to buy a legal weapon before the age you're allowed to buy alcohol? Now that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. They need to do better background checks. They need to do more extensive on them. Like, does this guy have a mental history and a history of creating violence already and has a violent past? And then John Shear said, install metal detectors at schools. One sec, Jed.
Sorry.
At elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, college, places of work, businesses. This could all be prevented and have cops on site.
Here's something that, okay, so a little background on me, if you didn't know, is I taught public school for 4 years. I went to private preschool for 3. Elementary. My class was notoriously chosen because of my demeanor and how I ran my class to have those with the ED, and I don't think they're even called emotional disorders anymore. There's something else that's more inclusive or whatever.
Oh, shut up. Not you.
I'm saying it's not what they're called now. I'm 11 years without having that
I'm not saying shut up to you, but I'm saying every time I hear this shit and crap, every time I hear this,
I know.
Shut up.
Right. So because I had a way of handling those students and letting them still have a voice. Anyway, those are the kids that I had in my room. And it wouldn't be just one or two. It would be 4, those that were on borderline, just, those are the ones I had, which was fine with me. That doesn't bother me. But to arm me or tell me that I'm going to carry or put a gun in my room with emotionally disturbed or triggered kids anyway, that's putting my class in a greater risk at an infinity level.
100%.
My point of view.
I agree.
My point of view. I do not want the teachers to have to feel like they have to be
Teachers
certified.
are already underpaid.
They're already on the front line of everything else. Why do they have to be the first responders as well? That's one point I have to say. 2, we have a problem of finding valuable jobs for our retiring vets. Yes, we have vets that have disorders. I
PTSD.
understand. But I have PTSD.
Carrie,
okay?
let me ask you this, though.
Why are we not putting our vets after they're vetted? I mean, why are we not giving them a job to be at that school? It's twofold. We find jobs for vets. We provide security. We introduce a true American hero to those kids, and they see them firsthand every day interacting with them anyway.
Well, because the mobs would go after it.
No.
Carrie, let me ask you this. Are you still teaching now?
No.
Okay, well, if you were, because a lot of people, and I'm not agreeing with this, and I'll get to that right after, a lot of people are saying, arm the teachers, have the teachers carry. It's a terrible idea, but if they want you to do 2 jobs, would you do it if they said, we will give you additional pay of an armed security guard? I wouldn't do it either. And here, my friend posted this yesterday, and it hit home. And I still can't post on Facebook, and it was too many characters for Twitter. But it went something like this. When you call the fire department because your house is on fire, do they show up with more fire or water? I don't know about y'all, but I've never been able to solve a problem with the actual problem. Pool ripped, add more holes. Car wrecked, go wreck it more. More guns does not equal more safety.
And let me bring this to that person. No, but let me bring this to that person. I'm going to do a both sides of the coin. Thank you, JB. I'm going to use this for it on this end. I'm going to put a both sides of the coin deal. Number one, I don't want to see Bubba and Herbert or whoever and go into a Sonic with an AR-15. You look stupid. Number one. Number 2, not a one of you would use it, and if you did, you wouldn't know how to. Yeah, it's different when it's not target. You're maybe using them on targets. It's different when the situation gets real.
I don't want to be a first responder.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Is if my unfortunately my calling is teaching. I got blackballed and run out of teaching, and that's neither here nor there. If my calling had been being a first responder, I would have chose that path, but I didn't. I chose a different path. So I feel like each person is called to do something in their lives. Mine could be a teacher. I don't have that avenue anymore, but I am not called to be the one to be the first responder to take out somebody's life. That is not my makeup. That is not who I am. That's not who I can ever be.
A lot of the times, first responders aren't cops.
Why would you put a gun in my hand and tell me you have to protect your students? I already had to protect my students. No. We had bomb threats several times, and this was 12 years ago. In a very small rural community, we had bomb threats.
Let me bring that, and I understand. Let me bring this here. What I was saying and I'll finish what I was bringing.
I'm sorry.
People, no, you're good. These people, when you see the pictures and they're going into a Sonic with an AR-15, no, this does not count. You are not a first responder. Get that thing off you, because you can pretend that you would. Oh my God, the government gonna take my guns.
Is that a falling down reference?
Okay.
No, that government will outnumber you. That government will blow you away, and you wouldn't know what to do about it.
Well, here's the deal with that: bringing the government in. Now that the Republican Party, the Supreme Court is trying to overturn Roe v. Wade, once the Democrats get a stronger hold on Capitol Hill, expect tighter gun regulation.
A bit different. Here's the thing, Jim.
Here's the problem, though.
I'm just saying, tit for tat.
We
all know it's true.
Here's the problem, though. People, like this kid, he happened to acquire his gun legally, but guess what? Gun control doesn't keep guns out of the wrong people's hands because criminals don't care about the law. That's why they're criminals.
Exactly. And here's the thing. My mom's been an educator her entire life. She was a guidance counselor. One time when she was still a guidance counselor at a local school in Town Myers Park, there was let me back up, actually. In 7th grade, I was walking up the bus ramp with my best friend, James. Not my best friend, James now, but another guy I knew, James Brazier. And this dude comes up and he ends up throwing, like, James and I were being kids. We were like pushing and shoving each other in jovial way, just kicking it. Anyway, this kid comes up, throws my friend through double plate glass windows 3 times at Carmel Junior High at that time, now Carmel Middle School, Will. And we ended up going on school lockdown. I was terrified. Somehow my friend did not sever his back. And ironically, several years later, he ended up at Myers Park High School. He went into the guidance counselor's office. Now, I'm sure this will shock you guys knowing me, especially you, Carrie and Will. That I get this from my mama, and I'm proud of it. This same young man goes in there and he starts raising his voice in a very ugly manner to the guidance counselor's admin assistant. And my mom was in a parent-teacher conference, walks out of her office, looks at him, and just goes, "No, you will not talk that way," and just settled his little derriere down. About a month and a half later, he was shot execution style in an area called Greer Heights by all the neighbors, and no one saw a thing.
The bully?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And, he is that guy that if he had had a gun, he sure as hell would have brought it into school. And at the end of the day, we don't need to bring more guns into schools. Carrie, your point with vets, it's a great point, but they have to apply for the jobs too.
And Jen,
I agree.
Jen, though, but bringing this up, what you were saying that they can shut down the Second Amendment. Yes,
they're not going to shut down the Second Amendment.
No, they're not going to. Let me finish. I'm sorry. I was going to say this. The difference was there was a thing with the Supreme Court with Roe v. Wade. But with the Second Amendment, it has to be from 67% of the House. It has to be the 60 of the 100 plus all of the governors of the state, at least 2/3 of the governors of the state, to overturn a thing compared to a. But
what they're saying is they'll amend the Second Amendment and make it harder. But did I say look at Chicago, look at New York? Mm-hmm. These are all towns that have no gun laws or have banned guns. Well, where are our biggest crime rates? I'm sorry, Chicago South Side.
Well, they're also tourist towns. So
most of the people committing those shootings, again, don't own those guns legally. All that this is going to do.
With guns. I mean, just because you can say we banned them. Do they go to house, and do they do a search at the borders of their city, with every vehicle coming in and out? No, you don't.
All this is going to do is cause a greater divide between the gun enthusiasts.
So here's where
and people that want gun control.
Here's what I find really ironic. We want to protect the unborn. We're going to protect the unborn. We're going to abolish abortions. We're going to make this safe for them. But screw you if you happen to be in elementary school and you get shot and killed. We don't give a shit then.
And if you're 2 teachers protecting babies.
No. We
did
don't.
y'all
No.
hear- did you
We
guys hear-
just have to make sure the unborn are protected. We don't have to care about.
Right.
'Cause
That's
you're-
pretty much what
We're talking
DeSanto
about a
said today.
woman's body. We have to make sure that unborn is protected. But don't you dare talk to me about a gun control. I'm not going to entertain this at all.
So what you're saying is the government's got its priorities all screwed up.
Hey,
Yes.
Oh, shocking, isn't that? That's what people are telling me. I'm watching this and I'm like, you say that you are anti-abortion.
Carrie,
Then you should be more into let's find some control over this situation we've got brewing. I have to wait 2 to 5 weeks for things to be shipped to me. I can go get a gun today.
Hey, Carrie, this is Carrie. Do me a favor, and I'm definitely taking what you're saying, definitely. But do me a favor, find the one picture, the person in that picture that says I've had 21 abortions, and beat the living crap out of her. Please
Yeah,
do.
seriously. Because
Please
here's
beat
the thing,
crap out of her,
I don't
they will
necessarily
use
agree with
that.
abortion.
Because I'm just saying, they will use the Republicans, whoever there are, the ones that are against abortion, will use that one picture, and the amount of people that still might wear that, or the people that agree with it, will use that to the death and to get the abortions out. Go find her and beat the crap out of her.
So
Do you know
here's the thing, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Carrie, but do y'all know who has the vast majority of abortions in this country?
Yes,
Who?
black women.
No.
No.
No. Who, Dom? I know this answer.
White women.
Yep.
White privileged
White
women.
women have more abortions than any other culture.
Well, I'll count my wrong. I was wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, and so, hey, I'm just saying, white girls, if you care, then take care of yourself.
The government and the law can't they can't step in and try to differentiate. You can't say it's okay in this situation and it's not okay in others. Do I agree with women that use abortion as a form of birth control? Absolutely not. But
that isn't the only reason you have an abortion. Do you realize that when that baby is dead, if that baby is non-viable and inside the womb?
What about our incest victims? What about our rape victims?
Well, I'm talking about what about those pregnancies that the baby is not viable and they pass away inside the womb.
Yeah.
That is considered an abortion.
Yeah.
Even though a dead baby inside a woman is a life sentence or is a potential death sentence for the woman.
Yeah, I agree.
That is an abortion.
Right. And this is why the government can't step in, because any woman at any point, even the one that has had the 20th abortion, how do you know if she got raped or not?
Right.
You know what I mean?
How do you know she's not in an abusive relationship?
Some old white man deciding what I want to do with my body?
Thank you.
I agree with you 100%.
Because here's the thing,
come to terms with what's going on.
Vasectomies can be reversed.
It was the white men that got Roe v. Wade. I have to admit that. And then they got in the
first place.
Well, that's because they wanted the murder rates down and the jails empty.
Yeah.
From murders, and go put, our lower income people in jail for stupid charges like marijuana.
No, hey Jen, you're correct on that. It's like, but guess the person, it's not the old white man in this case that's trying to get rid of Roe v. Wade.
Abbott.
It's the woman.
DeSantos.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Ito.
I'm talking about the woman who.
I'm sorry. There's one black man I know about, Thomas.
No.
Who raped women himself?
No, I'm talking about the woman they put into the Supreme Court last year. Last year or two. That's what I'm talking about. She's the one. She's the one that would say yes and no.
She
That's all.
got in there because she blew Donald Trump. Come on.
No, she's the one. She's the one. She's the
Here's the problem: is we're going to tell a woman what is morally right or wrong, that they can't make that decision themselves. So we are subclassing women in general. We are also then going to take that when you start doing that, women of color are going to be even more targeted.
So exactly. That was the point I made last night.
The thing is, so why are you trying to force your morals on me? Yeah. I'm the one that has to. I'm the one that has to look and I'm just saying why as in general. I'm asking why. I'm the one that has to look in the mirror. You get to walk away.
Yeah.
You get to
Right.
say,
Yeah.
this is what you have to do, and then walk away, and you don't have to be accountable for whether that child is fed, that you won't let be aborted.
yeah.
You don't
I
have to
agree.
And
account
you know
for
what?
their
They
safety.
can't make
You
that
don't
choice
do
for
anything.
you.
I agree.
And you know what? A lot of this
I'm agreeing,
started
Carrie.
in Jacob's state, not his home state, his adopted state. When voter rights started being stripped away from lower income communities and they started moving voting booths out of lower income areas and rural areas of Georgia. That's when a vote, like, it became abundantly clear that rights were starting to be taken away.
It kind of, in a way, I'm not saying it's right, but like from a, I can't even say, from a usage standpoint, it kind of makes sense because there's less people in rural areas, and in urban areas is where you have a higher concentration of felons, and they can't vote. Which, how did that ever slide through?
True. That's not true, and I didn't know it. Little known fact: it's a state by state law. Because North Carolina, if you're a felon and you've made enough repentance, then you can actually vote. You have to apply.
I didn't.
Same
I thought
in New
that was
Mexico.
Actually, every state is like,
same in Missouri too. I think
yeah,
Georgia.
you can
also.
petition to have your right to vote be returned.
Even in New Jersey.
okay. That's fair then.
New Jersey, I know New Jersey's that way. I know Missouri's that way. I know, and then you said, but there's so many things that we've just touched on that is beyond this. Again, it's
And I know we started with one area.
the WASP mentality of upper class to every class, every person, every race, however you want to do that. Every income level is not going to be the same as the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant belief. So you are taking those beliefs and enforcing them on everybody else.
And wasn't there
Unfortunately,
a case in New York?
they carry the vote.
And there was a case in New York a couple of years ago.
They had the money.
A Muslim brother
and the votes.
A Muslim brother killed a Muslim sister, and they couldn't charge him because it was their religious belief.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember that.
The average. Go ahead, Jen.
Go ahead. It's just the separation of church and state.
The average demographic of a registered voter is white, male, between like 55 and 70, and also whether they want to admit it or not, it's both racist and misogynistic. More misogynistic than racist, but both. How do you think Donald Trump got elected? He got elected by his people.
Well,
that's true. I agree.
And all the people that voted for him because they were voting against Hillary. That was me. I refused to partake in that election, and I wasn't going to waste my vote on a third-party candidate.
I wasted my vote.
You did.
Hey guys.
Gary Johnson.
Oh, awesome. We are out of time. We're over it.
Do you want to keep going, or do you want to carry this over into next week? I wanted to make two last comments, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, make the last comments, and I'll finish up because let's do it to next week.
Okay. So one of the teachers who passed away in the school shooting yesterday, he died today of a heart attack.
Husband died,
and they left 4 children from heartbreak.
Did you see that one of the sheriff's people that responded, his daughter was one that was killed, and they had she was only identified by DNA.
And also, this is the last point I want to make. The shooter in Buffalo had actually been put into a 50-50 hold by the school. They knew he was problematic, but they was protected by school rights. So he legally bought his gun. Everybody knew it. The young man Ramos in Texas, he bought his first gun on May 17th, which was his birthday. May 18th, he bought a shit ton of ammo. May 20th, he bought a second gun. That's where it needs to change. You don't need 2 freaking ARs in 72 hours.
You know?
How there isn't like a national database that tracks your purchases of all of that stuff, guns.
You realize
ammo.
that it goes to the FBI, and even if I had someone, and there's someone that has put it in layman's term on my post yesterday. It was where I have prayers and thoughts and prayers crossed out, and I said, and it's not that I don't have faith and I haven't prayed. Our thoughts and prayers haven't done shit in the last 15, 20 years. So we have to do action and change. But that's neither here nor there. But someone, if you have the time, go read that post. It was fairly cordial in the fact that people were able to share their opinions, but someone has broke that down that child, he may or may not have had a history, but if there's no charges filed, that doesn't show up. Based on the amount of guns sold last year, if there was 1,000 people in the FBI that were running these background, the 3-day hold things, that means they would have to investigate 52 cases thoroughly every day of their life at work.
Hey, Carrie, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yes.
And Jen for bringing her on. I want you
to
understand. I want you to truly understand your opinion, your view. You've been through hell.
Yes.
So every bit of
Carrie is a fucking survivor.
Yeah, no, she's a badass. No, it's like, I want you to understand how respected this is. What I'm doing, remember, this is what pundits, and what I'm trying to do is Pundits Pundit is not trying, I'm not trying to say you're wrong, not what you've gone through.
No, I didn't feel that.
No, it's the biggest thing that I'm trying to get is like what I was doing with Jen earlier is all I try to do is give a difference. Like, for instance, the Second Amendment to Roe v. Wade and what because the reason I want the world to understand on everything is the world doesn't. The world doesn't, and then they're just going to constantly yell and scream, and then we don't get anything done. We don't get it done, and it's like we're. That's why I say I like social media to melt and then see if we can start over again. Because all we're doing is screaming. Nobody's getting a thing done.
But here's my thing, and I know we got to end soon.
Yeah.
All of these school shooters, all these mass shooters are posting this shit on social media.
Yep.
My question, do they want to be stopped before they do it?
They're wanting attention. As a teacher, I feel like these kids have been pigeonholed for so long in their lives, and they've been put in the shadows and they've been ignored for so much of their life that they're wanting someone to care one way or the other. And hate is a form of attention, just like love and acceptance is. So if you get to that point where you have had no one that gives any care about you one way or the other, that you are alive and you have been told, and the only interaction is you're not important and you're shoved to the side, that breeds contempt, that breeds I'm going to make a name for myself, and that brings out the underside of whoever that personality is.
I've said this for forever, and then Jacob closed us out, and we can stay on backstage if y'all want. But I've said this forever. Peer mediation needs to come back to the schools because it's not just for bullying. It's to reach out to those kids who need the attention, who need the help, the love, the affection. And if there's warning signs, then you tell the people that you report to. Why the schools got rid of peer mediation, and Will, you probably never saw this because I think it left right when I graduated, but it's sad.
That was an airball. Sorry.
And no, I want to bring this before we go. I'm gonna go bring this little story fast. When I was 17 years old, I was given a false sexual harassment accusation from a gym teacher. False, absolutely false. And it was like, and all it was I can just give a quick story, but all it was me and a couple of buddies might go ha ha yank yank of some stupid joke.
Oh, and you shanked people.
Yeah.
I did that in 7th grade. I got in trouble.
Yeah, the football coach who won one game a year didn't like me because he didn't like anybody who went on his football team. He was an idiot. He went up to me and said, "You sexually harassing these girls who weren't watching, and it wasn't toward them." I was just thinking. I literally was thinking, this can't possibly crack. He would bring me to the office. The new dean was a woman, and they told the story. They told the wrong story, and they were about to put me in ISS for days. And it was wrong. They told me, go call mom. No. My dad was available. I'm going to give him a call. I mean, I can give you the thing. You can make you laugh, and we're running out of time. I'll say this. He went to he had some juice. He had buddies in the school board. He went to get their rule book. He asked them where this is sexual harassment. They finally said, oh, he's a troublemaker. He says, if he's a troublemaker, I'll handle it. Now, where does it say it? I was out of there 5 minutes. The reason I bring that story up is because that man had my back. He had my back my dad used to say to me, I got in more trouble for doing nothing than anything anybody's ever seen in his life. He had my back every time. These kids don't have that. Nobody has their back. They don't feel like they have their back in the same way. I can say, my dad could have died when I was 15 years old. He had congestive heart failure. He could have passed. My world might have changed completely. These kids, they don't feel like they're being watched. They don't feel like anybody's got their back. And you talk about peer groups, peer everything. I got lucky. I was very lucky my dad had my back. He went to 80 years old and I was in my 30s, 82. I was lucky. I got that luck in my life, but a lot of these kids don't have that luck. We got to get martial arts for to get them into it more. We got to get them maybe boxing classes, peer mediation. We got to do a lot of things. We got to give them things to do. We got to make sure they know and get their mental state.
You mean those that are speaking out against abortion, get them involved in providing support to those that are the born?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
I'm being facetious because those that speak out so loudly disappear when a call for volunteers is needed.
You're right, Jen.
They are very mute.
Go. Those people need to go worry about the kids that are actually alive.
Yeah, they do.
But that's all I meant. That's all I meant. I had a backup, a giant backup with a lot of power in that town. I was lucky, and he had my back. He was my best friend. But these kids don't feel this. They don't.
And that's why that's what they need.
Yeah, and they need it. And I just used that story because, maybe people made fun of me because my dad had to go bail me out that day or whatever the day. But guess what? I've got myself right now, and my head's clear. And he's been gone for a while, but my head's clear. If I died when I was 15, I could have been worse. Kids have got to have a backup.
Mm-hmm. All right, close this out, Jacob, and we can stay backstage.
I'm going to let up, but here's the thing. Thank you, everybody, because we had 3 very important subjects tonight. This is what I want with the Pundits Pundit. So important. It's both sides. I like the idea of both sides of the coin. We quit fighting, start discussing. Quit fighting, start discussing. This is what I want in this life. If I could find a way to get rid of social media as it is and the wars and everything, and we start doing this, then maybe we'll get some things done. Thank you all, and you guys have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.